Yeah, welcome back to week 4 or lecture 4 of General Computing, organized by No Big Deal, anchored by Salah Rahim. Today we are going to be looking at Microsoft Excel. Last lecture we talked about Microsoft Word, how to type and format using Microsoft Word, which we actually did some practical assignments. And today we are going to continue from there, then till we finish all our introduction aspects before we now start our practical. So today we are going to be looking at Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is a software tools and is an application software that we use for calculation. We also use Microsoft Excel for data analysis and data entry. So Microsoft Excel is very important when we talk about Office tools that we use in Office. So I want you to pay more attention on how we can use these particular tools. As we have mentioned, we are going to be looking at the components of Microsoft Excel in the aspect of home bar, toolbar, menu bar. And then after everything, we will be talking about data formatting in Microsoft Excel, how to work with common function, how to create charts. Then you now have your projects on explain how some if and VLOOKUP works. We will now be explaining how to create a Gantt chart and explain how to create a dashboard in Excel. So let's start with the component. Then after the component, maybe next time, or we can talk more about these components. Then next time we will now be talking about how to work with common functions. So this is the environment of Microsoft Excel. We have very important component that we normally use. The first component that we introduced to us that we have already known before now is the first bar. This first bar, it is called title bar. We'll keep on repeating this so that we'll get familiar to it. This bar is called title bar. Why will it call it title bar? It is a bar that holds the name of our document. At its initial stage or at a default stage, it is called book. But in Microsoft Word, it is called document because we have not yet saved the document. Immediately you save the document, it will now change to the name that you used to save it. So that is why we call it title bar. Then after again, there's another bar called menu bar that is directly under the title bar. So this title bar, it is a bar that holds all the menus in Microsoft Excel. We have 7 menus, but my own here I think is 8 because I have additional software installed. So the first menu that you'll be seeing on your own is home. You will not see WPS except if you install WPS. You see home, you see insert, page layout, menu bar, formula, data, review, and view. Those are the menus that is placed on the menu bar. So that's why we call that bar menu bar. Then the second one is, the third one is standard or toolbar. It is the bar that holds the submenus of all the clicked menus. So when you click on any menus, if you notice we click on home. So these are all the menus under home. That is submenus of home. So the bar that is holding all these submenus, we call it toolbar or standard bar. Then we have another thing here, f of x. F of x is function in maths. So in this Excel, we call it formula bar. That is where we type in our formulas. Then we have another thing here. All these things that is like table, we call it grid line. It's part of the component. Grid line is just a guide that is letting you know where you can input your data. Then we have um, another component which is vertical and horizontal scroll bar. This particular scroll bar, we use it to scroll up and down. That is vertical. Then the horizontal aspect, we use it to we use it to move right and left. So then we have another component here. This small box here, we call it cell. So what made up a cell? It is row, and a row also, it is called the component. It's among the components. And we have another one that is made up of a cell, which is the colon. Row and colon made up a cell, and they are all amongst the components. A row is what? It is a horizontal line. It is like horizontal line. That is, and it is associated with 1, 2, 3. 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5 till infinite. Then we have colon. Colon, they are vertical line that is associated with letters. Letters for colon A, colon B, colon C, colon D. So that's how this component is. So after having said that, let's briefly look at some points that we need to know in Microsoft Word itself. So we'll be opening Microsoft Word. I already have my Microsoft on my taskbar. I don't need to go to my search or start button to start looking for it. So the Microsoft Excel is opening. The main environment is opening. So let's wait for it so that it will open. So welcome to Microsoft Excel environment. This is all what I've been telling you from the slides. You use it to up and down. Then this one is right and left. Then what I wanted to tell you again is we have something that we call cell, active cell. We have talked about cell as the combinations of rows and column. There's something we call cell, active cell. Active cell is when your cell is being called. It's just like when they call your name, you will be active to answer when you hear that. So we call cell also. How do we call a cell? Is by inputting equal sign. When you input equal sign and you move to another cell, it will be active. So that is why we call it active cell. Then there's another thing I will let you to know also is we have many sheets in Excel. Excel is just like a book, our notebook that we write something. In our book, we have sheet, we have page, and we have sheet and we have page. What is a sheet in Excel? A sheet in Excel is is two or more pages that makes up a sheet in Excel. Then what is a Excel? We can call it two or more sheets makes up, or one self. 1, 2, 3 sheets makes up Excel book. Then when we talk about page, a page is just like normal page that we'll see in MS Word. That means 2 or 3 pages make a sheet. So inside our sheet, we have many pages. Then what I'm trying to explain here under the sheet, we have many sheets. We can open it by just clicking on this box. Clicking on the add button, that is insert right. I'm trying to click on it, it's not responding. So let me just click again. So if it's not responding, you can quickly right click on it. Well, I don't actually know why it's not responding, but it's supposed to. So you can easily click on the, let me try to escape everything and click. So I will click on it. Okay, it's because I've already made it inactive. So I will click on it to open more sheets. So we can open more sheets. We can right click on the sheet and delete the sheet. We can rename the sheet if you like, so that whenever you want to, or whenever you are looking for one particular um, entry, you can easily identify it by that name. You can insert sheet, so you can add more sheets to your sheet. That is what it means. So if I want to rename, I can rename. Maybe, for example, I have some results to compile inside a book. Can start writing JSS1. Then the next one I can write JSS2, so that whenever I'm looking for that particular sheet that I input those results, I will be able to identify it easily. Then how do we work on our cell? We can work on our cell by expanding. Maybe when you are typing something and you find out that the text you are typing is too big and you want it to be in one colon, you can expand it. When you move closer to the topmost, that is where they write letter A, you can move closer to that aspect, to that top, then try to drag it by yourself. Then if it is you want to expand the row, you can move towards those places they write numbers, then try to drag it down. So this is how to give a space in Excel. You can drag, you can expand. So that is how it works. So now, for example, you are typing something inside this sheet. You just type, and you don't want to expand, because if you expand, it will affect this particular line. So how do we expand without affecting this particular line? Is to do what we call wrap. You wrap the text. That is it. You just click on this wrap text. You wrap it. So it will contain, it will be compressed in that one colon. So what you just need is just to create a space for it to be showing. So that is how we can manually wrap our text, or we can manually resize our colon or row. So having said that, now how do we identify? We have identified sheet, we have identified book. A whole book can be sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, or even sheet 1. So, but how can we identify a page in Excel? We can identify a page in Excel by just clicking on these previews. We have normal view, we have a page layout, and we have a page break preview. You will see this closer to your zoom icons by your right hand. So you can just click on page break. This page break will allow you to see the page preview, and immediately the page preview is showing, you can easily identify the page. So the system is just trying to do our page preview for us. So let's wait for some minutes. So this is the preview. This is the preview that we clicked on. So after you return it back to our normal preview, you now see one line, one dotted line. It will be showing on the sheet. So my own dotted line is showing immediately after this. Is look at where my mouse is. If you do your own, you will see some dotted line. It will show. My own starts with I and later go to R. That is how it will move again and go to another numbers, another alphabet A. So like that. So we have many pages now. Many pages in this sheet that we don't even know how many again. So how do we know? We click on that preview, page preview. When you click on that page preview, then you now return it back to your normal view. So that is how we try to get how to find page in Excel. I hope you understand this component of Excel. Next class, we'll be looking out how to do data entry and format to it type.